Hey everyone, welcome back to Powerful Stoic Habits. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about how much control you've given away to people who don't deserve an inch of your energy? They've got you acting like the main character in a tragic drama where you're always chasing, always seeking validation, always bending over backward just to get noticed. Guess what? They've been playing you this whole time. You've been serving your attention on a silver platter. And for what? A breadcrumb of acknowledgement? A moment of validation? Let's be real. They've made you a supporting character in their story, while you've forgotten that this is your life, your stage. Here's the cold, brutal truth you need to face right now. You're doing it all wrong. You're wasting your power. Every time you check your phone hoping for a message, every time you send that extra text, every time you adjust your behavior thinking it'll get them to see your worth, you're playing right into their hands. They know exactly what they're doing. They want to keep you hungry for their attention, dangling the bare minimum in front of you like it's a prize. But you're smarter than that, aren't you? You need to be. Because here's where the game shifts, where you take back everything you've been pouring into people who couldn't care less. It's time to stop. Not just pull back a little, no. It's time to go ice cold. Become indifferent. Show them the power of your silence, the strength of your absence. Do you really think they deserve a single ounce more of your energy? Think again. Indifference is the ultimate weapon, and once you master it, you'll realize you've been holding the power all along. Think of it like this. When you stop caring, when you stop reacting, you throw them into a tailspin. They've built their ego around your attention, and when that supply cuts off, they crumble. They don't know how to handle it because they never expected it. They got used to the idea that they could string you along, toss you breadcrumbs, and you'd keep coming back for more. Well, that ends today. You're not their backup plan. You're not their convenience. When you step into the power of indifference, everything changes. And trust me, they'll feel it hard. You see, the reason indifference works is that it puts them in a position they never expected. Uncertainty. People hate not knowing where they stand, especially with someone who used to be so predictable. And that's been you, right? Predictable, always available, always ready to fix things, to explain yourself, to make them feel comfortable. But now, you're flipping the script. You're the mystery they can't solve. You're the silence they can't fill. And guess what? That silence is louder than anything you could ever say. Let's be real here. Most people thrive on control. They get a kick out of knowing you're waiting by the phone, hanging on their every word. They love the idea that they can walk in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. But what happens when that door locks? When you stop playing the game they've trapped you in? That's when things start to get interesting. That's when they feel the cold sting of being ignored. Indifference makes you untouchable. It's like wearing armor they can't penetrate. Every time you respond, react, or show that you care, you're giving them another opportunity to manipulate you. But when you stop giving them that power, they lose control. And nothing, I mean nothing, drives them crazier than the feeling that they're no longer in the driver's seat. You're not just walking away. You're walking away without a single backward glance. And that's what haunts them. The moment they realize you don't need them is the moment they start needing you. I'm not saying this is about playing games or acting out of spite. No, this is about reclaiming your power and stepping into a mindset of strength and self-respect. Your value isn't tied to how much attention they give you or how much validation you can extract from them. Your value comes from within. And once you understand that, once you truly grasp the power of indifference, you'll see people for what they really are. You'll stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop giving away pieces of yourself to those who don't deserve you. They'll come running, trust me. They always do when they feel that shift. But by then, you won't care. By then, you'll have learned the most important lesson of all. Indifference isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset. It's the ultimate power move, and it puts you back in control of your life, your energy, and your peace. You owe it to yourself to stop being someone's backup plan, someone's convenience. You're more than that. You're the prize, not the option. And the moment you internalize that truth is the moment everything changes. So here's what I want you to do. Start today. Start now. Stop giving them what they don't deserve. Let them feel the sting of your absence. Let them wrestle with the silence. And when they come crawling back, you'll know one thing for sure. You're the one in control now. Not them. You. Drop this affirmation, "I'm taking back my power," in the comments if you're truly ready to step into the power of indifference and reclaim your worth. Because once you embrace this shift, there's no going back to the person who used to beg for scraps of attention. You're no longer someone waiting in the shadows. You've already won the game by simply choosing yourself. In this video, we'll dive into 7 incredible ways to put the power back in your hands, to make them realize just how valuable and irreplaceable you are. You deserve respect, and it's time they understand that. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget. You are precious, and you deserve to be treated like it. If you found value in this video on the power of indifference, why ignoring them? Works using dark psychology and Stoic principles, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We dive deep into empowering topics like this to help you reclaim your strength and take control of your life. Don't miss out on future videos that will continue to elevate your mindset and transform your relationships. Hit that subscribe button now. Number 1. Cut the puppet strings. When you hear the phrase, "cut the puppet strings," it may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful steps you can take in reclaiming your control and stepping into your power. Think about it. For far too long, you've been allowing someone else to pull the strings. They've been manipulating your emotions, dictating your moves, and leading you down a path that benefits them, not you. You've become their puppet, reacting exactly how they want, when they want. But now, it's time to cut those strings and step into your own life, on your own terms. This isn't just about taking back control. It's about reclaiming your entire identity. When you've spent so much time being someone's puppet, you've likely forgotten what it feels like to move for yourself. The constant craving for their approval, their attention, their validation, it's exhausting. It's like you've been handing over your self-worth, waiting for them to decide whether you're worthy or not. But here's a truth bomb. Your worth is not up for debate. The moment you stop allowing others to control your emotions, you take back everything they've stolen from you. Your confidence, your sense of self, your power. The Stoics understood this deeply. As Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Cutting the puppet strings means becoming the master of yourself again. It means no longer reacting to someone else's whims or emotional manipulation. You become indifferent to their attempts to control you, and that indifference is where your strength lies. They can no longer toy with your emotions when you've severed the ties that allowed them to do so. But let's be real for a second. It's not easy. Relationships, especially toxic ones, can feel like a tangled web. You might feel attached, like you can't walk away, even though you know it's destroying you. You may have convinced yourself that by staying, by playing their game, you're holding on to something important. But the harsh reality is, you're only holding on to the illusion of control. They've tricked you into thinking you need them, that you're somehow incomplete without their approval. That's the lie they've fed you, and it's time to wake up. Imagine this. Your life is like a stage, and for too long, you've let them be the director of your story. Every move you make, every emotion you feel, has been dictated by their expectations. But now, it's time for you to step into the spotlight as the main character. They no longer get to decide your lines or actions. The moment you cut the puppet strings, you stop performing for their benefit and start living for yourself. You stop reacting to their cues and start writing your own script. But cutting the strings doesn't mean it's going to be easy. There will be moments when you'll doubt yourself, when you'll feel that pull to go back to the familiar, to let them tug at those old strings. You might think, but what if I need them? What if I lose them? Those are the moments when you need to dig deep and remember why you're doing this. You're not just walking away from a person, you're walking away from a version of yourself that was controlled, manipulated, and undervalued. And that's not who you are anymore. Think of it like a balloon that's been tied down for so long it's forgotten it can soar. The string has kept it grounded, preventing it from rising to its full potential. But once that string is cut, it doesn't just float aimlessly. It rises higher, catching the wind, free to move wherever it wants. You are that balloon. You've been grounded by someone else's control. But now that you're cutting the string, you're free to rise, free to explore, free to be yourself without their limitations. And here's the kicker. When you cut the strings, you don't just free yourself. You change the dynamic completely. The person who once held the power over you will start to feel that loss of control. They'll realize they can no longer manipulate you, no longer use your emotions against you. And trust me, that shift will hit them harder than any argument or confrontation ever could. Your silence, your indifference, your newfound freedom speaks louder than any words. They'll feel the emptiness where they once pulled your strings, and that's when they'll realize what they've lost. But here's where you have to be strong. Cutting the puppet strings is only the first step. It's the most crucial step, but it's just the beginning. This journey isn't over after one move. You can't expect to change the entire dynamic of your life with one action. This is the start of a transformation, and there's no turning back. You can't move the needle by taking just one step. You have to stick with it. You have to commit fully to this process of reclaiming your power, of becoming the person who no longer needs validation from anyone else. So, if you're feeling that urge to click away, to tell yourself that this one step is enough, stop. Don't let those thoughts creep in. You're stronger than that, and you deserve more than a half-hearted attempt at change. This is about transforming your entire life, about becoming the person who is worth chasing, not the one who chases. You owe it to yourself to see this through. Drop an affirmation, "I cut the strings," in the comments if you're ready to accept this challenge, and stay with me till the end. Let me know that you're not backing down, that you're committed to cutting the puppet strings and taking control of your life, because this is just the beginning. Stay with me, and let's walk this path together. You've got this. But remember, we're just getting started. Number 2. Burn bridges to light the way. When we talk about burning bridges, most people think of it as something negative, a path to be avoided. After all, who would willingly set fire to the connections they've built? But here's the thing. They've already built a bridge you never agreed to, one that serves them, keeps you trapped, and always available. So when I say burn bridges to light the way, I'm talking about reclaiming your power and creating a path forward, where your focus is no longer on the people who've manipulated your energy, but on your own growth, your own journey. Burning bridges isn't just an act of walking away. It's a statement. It's declaring that you're no longer willing to be their backup plan, their option, or their emotional convenience. It's the ultimate step in indifference, showing them that their access to you isn't a revolving door. Once you burn that bridge, they can't just stroll back into your life whenever they feel like it. The bridge is gone, and you've set the terms for your new future. But how do you do this, and why is it so powerful? Burning a bridge is terrifying for most people because it means cutting off that comfort zone, severing ties with people who've been part of your life, even if they've been toxic. You may fear loneliness, or worse, regret. But here's the thing, those bridges you're afraid to burn are what's keeping you stuck in the same cycle, making you easy prey for people who don't respect or value you. When you burn them, you're lighting the path toward freedom. In Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These bridges are the impediments to your growth, your self-worth, and your emotional independence. And when you burn them, you create space for action. You advance toward a stronger version of yourself. Their control over you disintegrates in the flames, and you rise out of the ashes, unstoppable. Imagine you're in a relationship, and it feels like you're the one doing all the heavy lifting. You're the one calling, texting, making plans, trying to fix things while the other person barely reciprocates. It feels exhausting, like no matter what you do, they're always just out of reach. You tell yourself that if you just try a little harder, they'll finally see your worth. But let me ask you this, why should you have to work so hard for someone to see your value? Burning the bridge means letting go of that endless chase. It means you've decided that your time, energy, and self-worth are too precious to keep throwing at someone who barely acknowledges them. You walk away, not because you're angry, but because you've realized that their lack of appreciation is no longer your problem. Your bridge to them is now in flames, and in that fire you see the light. What if it feels difficult? Of course it's going to be hard. We're conditioned to hold on, to hope for change, to believe that maybe things will get better. But deep down, you know the truth. If they truly valued you, they would have shown it by now. Burning the bridge is a way to remove yourself from the cycle of disappointment. You are no longer waiting for them to wake up. You are waking yourself up. Think of it like this. Imagine a ship on a voyage. There's a bridge connecting the ship to the shore, but the ship is never truly free as long as that bridge remains intact. It's tethered to a place that keeps pulling it back, stopping it from reaching its destination. But when that bridge is burned, the ship can finally set sail, unbound, moving toward greater things. Burning that bridge is you setting yourself free, and in the process, showing them that they no longer have the power to anchor you down. Here's how you do it better. You don't burn the bridge out of rage or frustration. You burn it out of wisdom, out of self-respect. You do it calmly, decisively, and with full intention. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify it. Your indifference speaks louder than any words you could ever say. You burn the bridge because it's time to move forward, and you won't let anyone drag you back into the past. And once you've done that, something incredible happens. You no longer need closure from them. You no longer seek explanations or apologies. You've freed yourself from the need to tie up loose ends because you've already moved on. The bridge is gone, and with it, your need for anything they were never willing to give. Your silence becomes your strength, and your indifference becomes your power. I know it can feel like burning a bridge leaves you with nothing, but that's the illusion. The truth is, when you let go of what's been holding you back, you create space for something far better. You've now lit the way forward, toward relationships that value you, respect you, and meet you at your level. Burn those bridges not because you're bitter, but because you're ready for something more. So embrace this step, because it's just the beginning. Keep in mind that this isn't a one-time move that solves everything. We're just getting started. You can't expect your life to transform with just one step. You have to burn the bridges, keep walking forward, and keep that flame alive in your mind. Those who refuse to respect your value don't deserve to keep crossing back into your life. Now, kill any thought of clicking away. This is a journey, and this is just the second step. You have to commit to it fully, embrace the power of indifference, and transform into the person worth chasing, not the one doing the chasing. To let me know you've accepted this challenge to change your life, drop an affirmation in the comments. I'm burning bridges to light my way. Let me see who's ready to take control and move forward with unstoppable energy. Stay with me till the end. This is just the beginning. Number 3. You trigger an emotional detox. When you embrace the power of indifference, something remarkable happens. You trigger an emotional detox. Think about it. Relationships often create toxic cycles of dependency, manipulation, and emotional entanglement. When you're constantly chasing, seeking validation, or trying to fix someone else's behavior, you unknowingly poison your own peace. But the moment you step back, go silent, and choose indifference, you force them to face a reality without you. That space you create isn't just about absence, it's about stripping away all the noise and drama. It's like an emotional detox for both you and them, a cleansing of all the unhealthy attachments that have built up over time. Emotional detoxification is powerful because it disrupts the toxic cycle they've grown dependent on. Without your attention, your energy, and your reactions, they're left with nothing to feed off. They'll feel the sudden emptiness, a void they didn't anticipate, and in that silence, they'll start to detox emotionally, whether they like it or not. But here's where the real magic lies. It's not just them detoxing. You also free yourself from the emotional baggage you've been carrying around, likely for far too long. By choosing indifference, you're purging your life of the drama, manipulation, and false hopes that have weighed you down. It's uncomfortable at first. Detoxing always is. Just like your body craves junk food when you're trying to cleanse, you might find yourself craving the emotional highs and lows that came with being entangled with them. It's natural to feel drawn back to that familiarity, but you need to understand that this detox process is necessary to reset your emotional equilibrium. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By triggering this emotional detox, you are mastering yourself and reclaiming your freedom from the toxicity that has held you hostage. In relationships, particularly the ones where you've been undervalued or taken for granted, this detox can feel brutal. You're stepping away from the person you thought you needed, and it might feel like ripping out a part of yourself. But here's the thing, you're not losing anything of value. What you're doing is shedding the weight of emotional dependency, and that's what sets you free. Every moment you stay strong in your indifference, you're purifying your emotional state, creating room for clarity and true self-worth. Imagine this metaphor. Your emotional life is like a glass of water that's been contaminated by dirt. Each negative interaction, each ignored text, each moment you felt dismissed is like another handful of dirt being thrown into that water. The more you cling to them, the dirtier that water becomes. But by choosing indifference, by stepping away and refusing to engage, you're allowing that water to settle. Over time, the dirt sinks to the bottom, and what's left is clear, clean, and pure. That's what this emotional detox does. It clears your mind, your heart, and your soul from the mess they left behind. But, let's be real, it's not always easy. You'll have moments where you're tempted to break the silence, to reach out, to seek closure. These are the hardest moments, but they're also the most crucial. It's in these moments that the real detox happens. When you resist that urge, you're not just building strength, you're reinforcing your own emotional boundaries. It's okay to feel that pull, but it's essential to remember why you're doing this. You're not punishing them, you're freeing yourself. The power of this emotional detox lies in its ability to reset everything. Once the detox is complete, they'll realize just how much they relied on you for their emotional highs. They'll feel the withdrawal of your attention like an addict coming off a fix. But you'll be lighter, freer, and clearer than ever before. They'll be stuck dealing with their own emotional mess while you've moved on, stronger and more focused on yourself. Here's the hard truth. This is just the beginning. You can't expect to move the needle with just one step. The emotional detox is just phase one of reclaiming your power, but it's a crucial step. You have to stick with me through this journey because this is where the transformation begins. If you're serious about becoming the person they can't stop thinking about, the one worth chasing, then you need to commit to seeing this through. So kill those thoughts of clicking away or going back to your old ways. This is your challenge, to step fully into your power, to become someone who is so centered, so indifferent, that others can't help but be drawn back into your orbit. But it only works if you stay with me till the end. Drop this affirmation in the comments to let me know you've accepted this challenge. I detox my emotions to reclaim my power. Let me see who's ready to take this journey to the end, because this is just the first step. There's so much more ahead, and you don't want to miss it. Number 4. You redefine the playing field. When you embrace indifference, you completely redefine the playing field. You're no longer playing by their rules, reacting to their whims, or letting their actions dictate your emotions. Indifference is a power move that shifts the dynamic in ways they never expected. When you stop engaging and start focusing on yourself, the entire landscape of the relationship changes. They can no longer pull your strings, and that sense of control they once had over you, gone. Indifference makes them realize that the game they were playing was built on the assumption that you would always be available. But when you pull back, when you stop caring, they are suddenly standing on shaky ground. They no longer know how to approach you, what to expect from you, or how to get back into your good graces. You've taken away their power by simply stepping back, and that, in itself, is the most profound shift you can make. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. When you stop judging yourself based on their behavior, you free yourself from their control. This shift in the dynamic is not just a tactic, it's a complete redefinition of the relationship itself. You're creating new rules. When you were constantly available, they believed they could come and go as they pleased. But by embracing indifference, you signal that you are no longer playing the same game. You've moved on to a higher level where they either step up or they fall behind. The playing field is no longer even. You have the advantage. This can be especially powerful in relationships. Imagine someone who has always kept you at arm's length, never fully committing, but always expecting you to be there when they want. They've grown accustomed to you chasing them, always showing up, always caring more than they do. But when you decide that enough is enough and you pull back with indifference, the entire script flips. Now, they're the ones wondering where you've gone, why you're no longer reacting, and what they need to do to get your attention again. But I know what you're thinking. What if it feels difficult? What if every fiber of your being wants to reach out, wants to respond, wants to fix things? That's where you have to stay strong, because this is not about them anymore. It's about you. You're creating boundaries, you're establishing your worth, and you're showing them that your attention is no longer freely given. Yes, it's hard at first, but that's why this process is so transformative. It teaches you that your peace of mind and emotional strength are more valuable than any momentary satisfaction you might get from them. Think of it like walking through a storm. It's chaotic, disorienting, and you can't see where the path leads, but once you come out on the other side, you'll realize that the storm was clearing the way for a new beginning. By redefining the playing field, you're not just taking control, you're reshaping your entire reality. The relationship no longer holds power over you, and you emerge stronger, clearer, and more grounded in your own worth. Here's the real challenge: sticking to it. You can't move the needle with just one step. This isn't a quick fix. It's a complete transformation. You have to commit fully to the process, because once you start embracing indifference, you'll begin to see how it rewires the way people treat you. But that only works if you stay the course. So kill those thoughts of clicking away, because this is just the first step, and we're just starting out. You have to stick with me until the end, because there's so much more to learn, and this journey will transform your entire life. If you're ready to accept this challenge, if you're ready to redefine the playing field and become the one worth chasing, drop an affirmation in the comments. I am taking back my power through indifference. Let me see who's ready to take control and become the one who sets the rules. Stay with me, because we're just getting started. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be untouchable. Number 5. Indifference reveals their true colors. Indifference does more than create distance. It exposes the truth. When you stop reacting, you force people to reveal who they really are. It's easy for someone to put on a mask when they feel they have control over you, when they know they can push your buttons and get a reaction. But once you step into indifference, once you stop playing their game, the mask starts to slip. You see, indifference isn't just a way to protect yourself. It's a way to make them show their true colors. When you pull back, when you refuse to give them the attention they're used to, they no longer know how to manipulate the situation. If they truly valued you, they'll step up and try to make things right. But if they were using you, stringing you along, or playing games with your emotions, their real nature will become painfully clear. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your indifference strips away all the noise and forces them to confront the reality of how they've been treating you. It's not your reaction that defines you anymore. It's their response to your silence that shows who they really are. This is where indifference becomes a powerful tool. Not only does it protect your peace, but it acts as a spotlight on their character. Suddenly, without your emotional energy feeding their ego, they have nothing to hide behind. Some people will panic and scramble to regain control. Others will disappear, revealing that they never truly cared in the first place. Either way, your indifference brings clarity, and that's something far more valuable than any temporary validation you might have been chasing. In relationships, this can feel particularly challenging. When you've invested time and energy into someone, it's hard to pull back and let indifference take over. You'll be tempted to engage, to seek closure, to find out why things went wrong. But remember, their actions in your absence will speak louder than anything they could ever say to your face. Indifference lets you step out of the storm, observing from a place of strength, while they are left floundering, uncertain how to navigate a world where you no longer play by their rules. Imagine you're a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. The people in your life are out there battling the waves, and they've always counted on you to guide them. But now, you've turned off your light. They either figure out how to navigate on their own, or they crash. Your indifference isn't about abandoning them, it's about giving them the chance to show if they can stand on their own, or if they were only ever leaning on you because you were an easy source of comfort. If it feels difficult, remind yourself that this discomfort is temporary. What's harder is staying trapped in a cycle where you are constantly being taken for granted, constantly playing a role you never signed up for. The moment you choose indifference, you're setting yourself free. You're no longer reacting to their moods, no longer feeding into their drama. You've taken a step back, and that distance is where the truth unfolds. This is why indifference is such a powerful weapon. It's not about revenge or manipulation. It's about forcing the truth to surface. It's about self-respect. You are no longer the person begging for attention. You are the one who walks away, knowing that your worth doesn't depend on their validation. And trust me, once you've seen their true colors, you'll never want to go back to the person you were before. You can't move the needle of your life with just one move. You need to stick with me to the end, because we're just getting started. Don't even think about clicking away now. Embrace this challenge to transform your life, to become the person worth chasing. Drop the affirmation, "I will reveal their true colors," in the comments if you're ready to stay with me till the end. Let me know you're committed to this journey, because once you start, there's no turning back. We're just getting warmed up. Number 6. Pull the rug from underneath. When you pull the rug from underneath someone, it's not just about surprising them, it's about completely flipping the script. Imagine someone standing confidently, thinking they have control, knowing you'll always be there, available at their convenience. They've become too sure of their hold over you, too certain that no matter what, you'll keep showing up. Then, without warning, you pull the rug out from under them. You stop reacting, stop engaging, and suddenly they're left in freefall, grasping for the control they thought they had. This is what embracing indifference does. It disrupts the entire dynamic and forces them to face the reality of your absence. Stoicism teaches us we suffer more in imagination than in reality. You've imagined for so long that pulling away, letting go, and going silent will hurt you more than them. But the truth? You're not the one who falls when the rug is pulled. They are. And the beauty of this move is that it forces them into a confrontation with their own emotions. By no longer feeding their need for your attention, you make them question their own behavior. Your indifference becomes the catalyst for their self-reflection. In a relationship, when you pull the rug out by going silent and embracing indifference, it sends a powerful message. I'm no longer available for your games. They expected you to keep reaching out, to keep fighting for their attention, but now you've done the unexpected. You've removed the safety net they didn't even realize they were leaning on. This creates a vacuum in their life, a space they didn't anticipate, and it forces them to confront what they've lost. This isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about taking back the power that they took for granted. But let's be honest, this step isn't always easy. It can feel incredibly difficult to walk away, to stop caring, especially when you've been so emotionally invested. It feels like letting go of a lifeline. The fear creeps in. What if they don't care? What if I lose them for good? But here's the truth. If they don't care when you pull the rug from underneath them, they never valued you in the first place. And if they come running back, it's because they've finally realized just how important you are. Think of it like standing at the edge of a cliff. afraid to jump, but knowing that once you do, you'll be free. Pulling the rug out is that jump. It's terrifying in the moment, but once you've taken that leap, you'll realize you've freed yourself from their grip, and you're the one soaring while they're left stumbling, wondering what went wrong. In fact, you're not just shifting the power dynamic, you're also resetting the entire foundation. When you stop being predictable, when you stop reacting, you're forcing them to reassess how they approach you. If they want to stay in your life, they'll have to earn it. And if not, well, then you've just saved yourself a lot of wasted energy on someone who didn't deserve your time in the first place. So here's what you need to remember. This is only the beginning. Pulling the rug from underneath them is just one step in reclaiming your power. It's the first of many moves you'll make in transforming yourself into the person worth chasing. You can't move the needle with just one step, so kill those thoughts of clicking away right now. You've started this journey, and I'm challenging you to stick with me till the end. Drop the affirmation, "I'm reclaiming my power with indifference," in the comments if you're ready to commit to this transformation. Because this isn't just about one action, it's about redefining your entire life. Stay with me, embrace indifference, and watch how your world changes when you become the one they can't ignore. This is just the beginning, and you're only getting stronger from here. Let me know you're in, and let's continue this journey together. Number 7. You free yourself from needing closure. You free yourself from needing closure the moment you embrace indifference. The truth is, closure is often an illusion, a need for answers, validation, or the last word that we think will set us free. But Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from within, not from someone else's explanation or apology. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you stop chasing closure, you reclaim control over your emotions, no longer tethered to someone else's validation. Think of a broken relationship. Maybe you've been waiting for that final conversation, that text explaining why things ended the way they did. But let's be honest, what good would it really do? Would it heal your wounds, or simply drag you back into the cycle of needing their approval? Indifference is powerful because it teaches you to find closure within yourself. It's not about forgetting what happened, but about rising above it and realizing you don't need their words to move forward. Picture it like cutting a rope that's been holding you to a sinking ship. The longer you stay attached, the more you drown in their unresolved mess. But the moment you cut that rope, you set yourself free. Yes, it might feel difficult at first. Your mind will scream for answers, for validation, but that's the old you talking. The new you doesn't need that. The new you understands that true power comes from walking away without looking back. If you found value in this video on the power of indifference, why ignoring them works, using dark psychology and Stoic principles, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We dive deep into empowering topics like this to help you reclaim your strength and take control of your life. Don't miss out on future videos that will continue to elevate your mindset and transform your relationships. Hit that subscribe button now.